Thanks for joining this afternoon. We'll get started in a couple minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kate Rader, the marketing specialist at NBS. We have a couple presenters today. We are honored to have someone from Allegis and WealthCare Saver, and she'll introduce herself shortly, along with Steve. We also have Scott on camera. He's the Vice President of CDH. I think we'll give everyone maybe one more minute. It looks like a few are still trying to join. Okay, we'll get started here. Lindsay, if you want to introduce yourself, and Steve, you can introduce next.
Perfect. Thanks, Kate. Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Lindsay Bernard. I'm the Senior Director of Product Management over the HSA product at WealthCare Saver, who is the HSA custodian partnering with NBS to bring the HSA offering to your employees. So I had a close hand in bringing this high yield option to life as part of our product. So really excited to be here and dig in a little more detail. Steve?
Thanks, Lindsay. Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Sandel, Director of Business Development at National Benefit Services. We've been working with WealthCare Saver for some time now as our HSA custodian. We're really happy with our partnership with them and just the innovations that they brought to the HSA experience for our participants. As Lindsay said, she played a big role in bringing this high yield option to life for us and the rest of WealthCare Saver's clients. And she's definitely the expert on this topic. So she's gonna control most of this conversation. So I'm gonna turn it back over to her and let her get us started.
Perfect.
And Lindsay, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to mention if anyone has questions, please submit them to the Q&A and we will get to them at the end. And also, this is being recorded and we will share this video along with the PowerPoint slides to you in the next couple of days. Go ahead, Lindsay.
All right, perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. And I always like to start with a little bit of context, right? Why does this matter? Why should you care? Why is this option important? As the HSA custodian for a number of HSA accounts, especially as a member of the product team, one of the things that we're always monitoring is where are there opportunities and where are there trends in the market that can help us advance the HSA product, make it more attractive to account holders so we can get, more participants saving and being better prepared for the future, as well as deliver better value, right? We want your benefit package to be as competitive as possible, and to, again, maximize the number of people who have access to and are participating in these accounts. With high yield, one of the with kind of the history of HSAs, right? I think one of the trends that we've been seeing are more advanced financial tools being introduced alongside the HSA or to support the HSA. As HSAs have grown, last year, right, HSAs turned 20 years old. It's given us this breadth of experience with these accounts that have given us a little bit more flexibility and more options to deliver more sophisticated features within the product. So high yield kind of came about both in response to, like, again, that growth in HSAs and our ability to introduce new options, as well as seeing other HSAs and trends in the market going in that direction to increase the financial sophistication and options available within the HSA program. Secondarily, right, we are always looking for ways to deliver value to HSA account holders. And the more we can do that in an easy, hands-off way that doesn't require much from the participant and can be sort of passive, the better. So the great thing about high yield, and we'll walk through a participant demo, Steve will do it in a minute. It's super easy. It's a passive way for HSA account holders to earn more on every single dollar that's in their HSA cash account. We also know that not all HSA account holders are the same, right? There's no one size fits all with an HSA program, and account holders are in a variety of different financial positions. Some may be not ready to invest their money. Some may be investing, but still want additional options to maximize the cash that they keep on hand for spending. And so high yield is a great way for people, again, to deliver more value for the money that's sitting in their HSA, no matter where they're at in their HSA journey. And like always, right, we want to provide options. We want to make sure that people have the ability to choose the option that works best for them, while also making sure that consumers are aware of the high value options within their account. So all of this, hopefully, right, is meaningful, right? We're really trying to build the value of the HSA product and in turn deliver more value to your employees. So what is high yield? So high yield is a second interest option that will sit alongside the existing traditional interest option for the HSA. So participants will have the ability now to choose between two different deposit types or interest types to apply to their HSA cash account. The traditional option is what most accounts are in today. It's very similar to that of like a checking account, right? Sort of standard minimal interest rates, typical, kind of similar to what you would see at your bank. High yield, on the other hand, is a different type of deposit option. It's actually an annuity product that's backed by our partner Pacific Life, which I'll talk about more in a second. And delivers the ability to earn higher interest on every dollar in the cash account. So consumers will have the ability to choose between these two, and the traditional option is not going away. But if they choose to be in the high yield option, they will earn higher interest on, again, every dollar in their cash account than if they were in a traditional option. Now, one thing that I think is really important to understand is who is Pacific Life. As WellCare Saver was doing our research and vetting partners to bring this high yield option to consumers, it was really critical to us to have a trusted partner behind the scenes who is supporting this product. So some of you may be familiar with Pacific Life. I know I was before we even started the conversation with them, but they are an extremely highly rated financial institution. They've been providing solutions for decades. They have over half of the top 100 largest U.S. companies as their direct customers. So they are trusted by some of the largest groups to back their financial offerings. And while many may know them for their life insurance product, they actually provide a wide range of financial services and product types, including the annuity product that backs this high yield offering. And I think one of the most important things for us as we were evaluating and selecting Pacific Life as a partner is how are they rated by external rating agencies, right? Which are really responsible for vetting the health of a financial institution. And Pacific Life is across the board exceptionally rated by all major rating agencies. So as a financial institution, they are an extremely strong entity, and they are a trusted partner of ours that was essential to bringing this high yield offering to life. So I think it's really important just to understand who is Pacific Life in all of this, because they really are the ones behind the scenes kind of holding those funds and backing this option. And then last, as we've rolled this out, right, I think what's really important to us as an HSA custodian is making sure that the things that we're rolling out to account holders not only deliver high value, but also don't add to the noise, right? We don't need more questions in our day. We want things that that solve problems for participants and don't add additional weight to the burden of managing any expenses. And I'm really excited with the results that we've seen. High yield at this point, I remember launching it to our very first pilot customer, maybe about 2 years ago now. So we've kind of been rolling it out incrementally. And at this point, it's a really well-established product. Over 1 million account holders have adopted it across all of the accounts that WealthCare Saver custodies. And the feedback from participants is that it's very easy to use and intuitive to opt into. And Steve will go into a bit more detail in the demo on that. But also the call volume that we've seen has been virtually non-existent. So I really love the idea that we're, again, giving participants just another option, an easy way to kind of passively add value to their HSA without adding to the headache of the HSA experience, right? They can, it's a simple, easy way to earn more. And with that, I think, Steve, I'll hand it over to you to run through a quick demo of the participant experience.
Thanks, Lindsay. Before I get into the demo, I just want to add to something that Lindsay mentioned a little bit earlier, that with an HSA, there's really no one-size-fits-all solution. There are different kinds of HSA account holders. They all might have different goals in mind of what they're trying to do with their HSA, what they're using it for. Last year sometime, we did a webinar similar to this on the investment experience for HSA account holders. And as we got into that, we talked a little bit about how we've identified that there are kind of 3 main HSA account holders. First, you have your spenders that just putting the funds in there and maybe using them, pulling them out as quickly as they're going in there and just spending the funds right away. Then you have your savers, people that know that they're going to have to use the funds soon, or maybe they're saving them up until a certain event. They're not ready to invest them yet, so they're just keeping them in their saving account, in their cash account. And then lastly, you have your investors, those that aren't spending their funds. They want to earn as much interest as possible with their HSA funds. Maybe they're using it as a retirement vehicle, and so they're just investing their HSA funds as quickly as possible. With this high yield option, it really adds to the options for the different types of HSA account holders. And I think that what you'll see here is a good example of that. What you'll see from the account details here is that this person has just over $3,000 in their HSA. They've got just over $2,000 invested in that, and then just under $900 that's in their cash account. This would be a good example of someone that may hear about the different types of HSA account holders and say, I check all those boxes a little bit. I want to invest my funds. I want to save some funds and earn as much interest as possible with what I have in my savings or my cash account, but I know I'm going to have to use that those funds. So I want to keep them liquid and available to spend as quickly as possible. So again, the high yield interest option just adds to that experience for the HSA account holder, because they can have that option where they keep some funds in their savings account, but they're earning a higher interest rate than what they've seen in the past. So to walk through the process a little bit, it's a really simple process. Someone would first log into their account and they'd be taken to their home page or dashboard. From there, they would click on their HSA account details screen. So what you'll see up here at the top in the middle where it says HSA account details. And this is where they would access all the tools and information related to their HSA. As you can see here, the farthest right option in blue under account resources is interest options. If someone would click on that, it would take them to this next page, which they would see here, where it shows them the two different options with their savings account or their cash account. So first, again, is that traditional interest rate account. The second is the high yield interest rate account. You'll see that it'll explain to them the two major differences in the accounts that Lindsay went over earlier. So first, that with the traditional interest rate account, they're going to earn a lower interest rate, but those funds are FDIC insured. And then with the high yield interest rate account, of course, they're going to earn that higher interest account if they choose that option. The funds are not FDIC insured, but they are backed by the annuity product through Pacific Life, as Lindsay talked about. They'll also see all the disclosure agreements that they might want to review before making that decision. And once they've decided that they want to select the high yield interest rate, they would just click on that to select it and then click confirm. And it'll take them to this next page, or they would see in this next page here on the bottom of the screen, it would confirm what type of interest earning account that they've been enrolled in. So for this participant, in this example, they would see that they're set up with the high yield interest earning account. So again, this can all be done through our portal. As you can see, it's a simple process where there's one click at the end to enable it, and just a few steps before that to get to it. We're going to send this out, like Kate said, after the webinar, so you'll be able to see these steps for yourself. Also, if you're a HSA client of NBS and want more information on this for your participants, we can definitely provide that. You can reach out to your relationship manager. They can provide that information to you, or even set up a quick demo if you think that would be helpful to your participants. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Lindsay, and she has a few more things to run us through, and then we'll move on to the FAQ.
Great, thanks, Steve. Yeah, just last couple things about the participant experience. So we also want to make sure that participants are aware of this option, that they can choose between the two. So in addition to the icon and link that Steve showed, we also will have a notification that shows up both in the portal that Steve was demoing as well as in the mobile app. That whether someone's in high yield or not, just gives them a reminder that they have multiple interest rates available to them, and to review those options to make the best decision for their account. So just we want to be able to make sure that participants know about this and have the ability to review. And then just a couple reminders, just kind of recapping some of the key things. This is a consumer choice product, so account holders can change their interest option at any time based on their preferences, right? We know that this isn't one size fits all, so based on their preferences, they can update that. I also want to note that when they change their option, that change happens right away. So they don't have to worry about being in the wrong option and then have to wait for for something to delay until the next month or something to change, right? That change will take effect right away. There is a cutoff time each day where essentially our system is calculating interest for the day. So effectively, whatever interest option they're in at that time is the one that will apply for that day. But again, they have the ability to change it and have it take effect immediately, kind of that record of what interest option they're in. And then again, they will see that notification. We sometimes refer to them as opportunities to kind of proactively inform them that these options are available to them so that they can make that decision for their account. I think with that, That's everything we had prepared. Kate, did we have any questions that we wanted to work through?
Yes, we have a few here. So this question we can always send more information about, and we have another webinar, but they asked, what's the difference between an HSA and an FSA?
Oh, good question. Yeah, I mean, Steve, do you want to take that one, or do you want me to take that one?
I can answer that.
Okay,
They're
sure.
similar in purpose where they give employees an option to use pre-tax funds to cover out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. The biggest difference between an HSA and an FSA is related to the medical plan that an employee is on. If someone wants to participate in an HSA, they have to be covered by something called a high deductible health plan. If they're not covered by a high deductible health plan, they're not eligible for an HSA. With an FSA, it doesn't really matter what type of medical plan that you're on. Typically, if someone is on a high deductible health plan, they would have an HSA option and they would go on that. And then the FSA would be for other types of medical plans. But then outside of that, the other main differences is with an HSA, it's an employee-owned bank account. So if they were to leave your company, they could take those funds with them. It works just like a bank account where the funds go in and they're only available to spend as they go in. With the FSA, some differences compared to the HSA that I just mentioned. It's not an employee-owned account. If they terminate, they lose access to the funds. And it doesn't work like a bank account where the funds have to be contributed before they're available to be spent. Whatever an employee elects for the plan year, that's all available up front. And then ideally,
Right. Sorry, it froze for a minute. Were you finished, Steve?
yes.
Okay. All right. My apologies. Okay, next one. Will the high yield be available automatically to all employer plans, or does the employer need to elect to have this offered to their employees?
It's available to all employers. Again, an employee has to make the decision to change from the traditional interest account to the high yield rate, but it's available to all employers, and then the employee makes the decision from there.
All right, and then
Steve,
Scott, did you have?
just clarify, this is Scott. The employer has to elect that their participants can have that option, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Sorry if I misunderstood the question. I thought if they were asking if it's only available to certain employers, but yeah, if you have your HSA with NBS, we can give you some information on how you would make it available to your employees, and then from there they would have the option to make the change.
Right. It's just not automatically available. The employer has to say, yes, I want to participate in the high yield option. So.
Thank you. The follow-up question to the FSA and HSA, to clarify, he said, if he is not in a high deductible medical plan, he cannot have an HSA high yield.
Correct. If you're not in a high deductible health plan, you cannot have an HSA, and the high yield interest account is only available with an HSA because it is an actual bank account where an FSA is not.
Okay, thank you. We have a couple more. How is a high deductible medical account determined? What are the standards to determine?
I don't know all the standards, to be honest. That's not NBS's area of expertise. If you're asking that as like an employer level HR contact or benefits contact, if you have a benefits broker, they would be able to provide you with that information. Unfortunately, I don't know all the specifics of what needs to be in place for it to be considered a high deductible health plan.
But the IRS publishes guidance on the requirements for a high deductible health plan. It includes things like the minimum deductible amount, the maximum out-of-pocket amount. So there's several factors that go into it that are, again, defined by the IRS, and they typically get updated each year to determine which plans are HSA eligible. So, but agree with Steve with checking with your broker on that.
All right, someone asked if you could go to the slide with the rates again. And like I said, we'll also provide this to you. And if you need more information, you can contact your relationship managers. But we have different flyers to distribute. If you're interested, just let us know. Okay, there are the rates for the request. We have another question that just came in. Are these funds fluid even though associated with an annuity?
Yes, yeah, it's
okay.
Oh, sorry, was there more to the
Oh,
question?
no, go ahead. That was the question.
Yeah, really good question. Yes, these operate no differently than the traditional option. They're fully liquid, fully available for spending at any time. So it's not like to the account holder. There's no like waiting period, like in an investment account, if you have to wait to sell and have funds settle. That's not the case here, right? Funds are fully liquid, fully available at all times.
Any penalties?
No penalties, no penalties, no fees, right? This is just another option within the HSA account. But yeah, you can't like pull out too much too quickly and have there be penalties applied. There's no need to manage the cash in your account differently just because you're in the high yield option. The only difference is the higher rates.
Right. And it looks like we have one more. Is there a minimum amount required to participate in high yield?
Nope, you could have 1 cent in your HSA and still opt into the high yield option. So no, there is no minimum. I do see some conflation sometimes between this option and opening an investment account. These are really totally separate things, right? High yield is an option that can apply to the cash account, but there's no minimum to start, no fees applied, no impact on liquidity. It operates exactly the same. So as your normal HSA cash account. Good questions.
So Lindsay, just to build on that, I have my HSA account and any money that is in it, no matter what, if I've selected to be in the high yield plan option, then any money I have in there is automatically receiving the higher interest rate.
That's correct.
Unless I opted into an investment side. But if I'm just spending the money for my medical expenses, all the money in my HSA is participating in this high yield option.
That's exactly correct. Yep.
All right. Well, that looks like to be all of the questions. We appreciate everybody participating. Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us. Steve, thank you. And Scott for your input. And if anybody has questions, please contact your relationship manager or someone at NBS. We will help you. We'll get you information and we will get you the slides and the video in the next day or so. And have a great rest of your day.